Israel, where we've got Israel Katz, the Defence Minister, giving a press briefing.
And their capabilities are being terminated. Chief of Staff, on your behalf, I would like to commend the performance of the Air Force and all the personnel, the intelligence, and all our personnel who are working with bravery and resolve, and above all with skill, together with our American partners in launching this campaign, which will be recorded in the annals of history. It is unprecedented. Thank you. The head of the government and myself handed down commands to continue to target the oppressive regime and to cut off the head of this octopus. The President of the United States spoke about the alternation of the regime. Today, we informed him that the pace is continuing, if not increasing, following the assassination of the top-tier leaders. The Chief of Staff have just informed me is that the head of the National Security Council, Ali Larijani, and the leader of the Basij forces, both were killed, were assassinated today, and joined the head of the regime in hell. Our army is working with strength to continue to hit and terminate the missile capabilities as well as the strategic infrastructure. We will bring him back decades. The leaders of the regime are being killed and their capabilities terminated. That's why, on your behalf, Chief of Staff, as well as the Commander, I would like to commend the performance of our air forces and all our army personnel who are working with strength and resolve together with our American partners, carrying out these strikes which will go down in the bright annals of history as most skillful and unprecedented. All respect to you. Thank you.
We have at the moment this news conference by the Defence Minister of Israel, Israel Katz, just confirming the deaths of the security chief Ali Larijani and also the head of the Basij part of the IRGC there as well, Gholamreza Soleimani. Just confirming that. The Israelis confirming it. We have nothing at the moment from Tehran as to whether there is any truth to all this, but certainly last time when the supreme leader was killed, it was the same sort of playbook where the Israelis came out and said that he was dead. There was denial from Tehran. And then eventually, after Donald Trump said he was dead, we had then Tehran confirming the demise of the supreme leader. So it looks like the same kind of playbook. We can get more now from Resul Serdar and also from Mohamad Elmasry. This is the same playbook, is it not, Mohammed?
It is. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. But typically, when Israel comes out and states sort of matter-of-factly that they've assassinated somebody, you know, they're proven correct. I can't think of any instances where they've come out this clearly and confidently and said they've killed somebody, you know, when it hasn't, you know, come to fruition or when they haven't been accurate. So I think that's the expectation right now. And as we were talking about a few moments ago, it's certainly going to be significant if this ends up being the case, right? To Resul's point, I thought it was interesting when you said that this will actually further consolidate the authority and power of the IRGC and also of Mujtaba Khamenei. And he's likely to become even more sort of hardened
Well, he's been making some comments, actually. He's been the new supreme leader, this is according to Iranian state media, telling a foreign policy session this is not the right time for peace, as the US and Israel must be defeated and pay compensation. That's not really changing the narrative, is it at all? It's going all guns blazing, as it were.
Indeed. So here, what we are seeing is that, so Rashad, there is a decapitation. It's a systemic one. So it was clear for many of the reporters, based on Israel's behavioral pattern, that it was not limited with Ali Khamenei, but rather it was an employed strategy for a wartime. And so that's going to go through several rounds up until the Iranians find themselves in a difficult position of replacing those who have been killed, to create a leadership crisis and power vacuum in the country. But who are replacing these people? So Mohammed Pakpour was replaced by Hossein Salami, who has been killed last June. And if you compare both, Mohammed Pakpour was more hardliner than Hossein Salami. And now that Mohammed Pakpour, the head of IRGC, was killed just 2 weeks ago, who has replaced him is Ahmed Wahidi. Ahmed Wahidi is known by his radical stance. He's an extreme hardline military commander. And so now he's leading the IRGC. And then we are seeing Mousavi. When Hajizadeh was killed, the commander of the air forces of the IRGC last year, so he has been replaced with another one, and then he was killed. And now Mousavi is the head of the IRGC's air forces, and he is also known by his hardline position. Then we see Mujtaba Khamenei come in, and it's not a secret that he is less flexible than his father.
No, I mean, he's going to be less flexible. He lost his wife, he lost his father, and he lost a sister in that attack. I mean, so that's not going to exactly make him a peacenik.
There are concerns that these personal losses will further, put him in a position of making sharp decisions.
And we still haven't seen him.
Indeed. But even before that, it was quite clear that he is more hardliner than his father, less flexible than his father. And also recently, just yesterday, it was announced, it's an interesting appointment. Now Mohsen Rezai, one of former IRGC commander, has been appointed as Mujtaba Khamenei, the new supreme leader's military advisor. And he has replaced Rahim Safawi, who was considered as a kind of moderate ex-commander of the IRGC. So when you're looking this pattern, those who are replacing the ones that are killed are more hardliner than their predecessors. So it hints about the direction of Iran and how Iranian power structure, military and political structure, and of course the religious leadership is going to be oriented toward.
Right. Well, we have this statement from the Iranian state media saying they published a handwritten note by the security chief, Ali Larijani. And this was on the eve of the funeral ceremony of the warriors of the Navy of the Islamic Republic of the Iran Army. The martyrdom of the brave warriors of the Navy of the Islamic Republic Army in Dina is part of the sacrifices of the valiant nation that has emerged in this struggle against international oppressors. Their memory will always remain in the heart of the Iranian nation, and these martyrdoms will strengthen the foundation of the Islamic Republic for years within the structure of the armed forces. I ask Almighty God for the highest ranks for these dear martyrs, signed by Ali Larijani. Now, is that a note which has been published here, Mohammed, to try and show that he's still alive?
It doesn't seem like that. I mean, I don't think this is going to convince anybody that he's still alive. You wouldn't publish a handwritten note that is dated if you were trying to demonstrate that he's still alive. I think this is a kind of crisis communication strategy. I don't think it's a very effective one, but there is, I think, a level of disarray. Let's not forget that for 2 weeks now, Iran has been hit very hard by the Americans and the Israelis. I have a lot of skepticism when it comes to things that Donald Trump says and things that Pete Hegseth says, but I do think they are correct for the most part when they say that they've hit Iran very hard. They've hit thousands of targets. They have decimated to some extent the leadership structure. So it has been devastating for the Iranians. One of the things that I'm asking myself now, in light of this breaking news is, will this actually give the Americans and the Israelis, and in particular the Americans, a greater appetite to sort of go in for the kill? Will this give them more confidence that they can create the leadership vacuum that you were talking about, and that they can actually execute a successful regime change operation? Because Donald Trump was talking from the beginning about regime change. That's what he wanted from the beginning. He thought this would be a quick and easy operation. He immediately switched, he changed up his discourse, but he was assuring the American people that this would be quick. It would be in and out. It's not going to be a forever war. It's nothing like Iraq. He's emphasized that repeatedly. Obviously, he's had to adjust to conditions on the ground. But will this give him an increased confidence and increased motivation to try and sort of finish the job? And could that ultimately prolong the war?
And I've got to bring in Tohid. I mean, they've been up to 10 different reasons why they started the war, according to Donald Trump, but we won't go there for the time being. Tohid Asadi, of course, with us still in Tehran. Now, this note, which was really dedicated to the funeral, one assumes of those naval soldiers who were killed, naval sailors, I should say, who were killed off the coast of India and Sri Lanka. And that being published now, is there any significance of it?
Well, it's quite dependent upon the timing in which this handwritten statement has been written. Now we've got the statements from the Israeli sides directly announcing the killing of Ali Larijani, the Supreme National Security Council's secretary, a top official in terms of the security apparatus of the country. And it goes without saying that he is a bridge between the security apparatus on the one hand and the military sphere of the country on the other. Seeing his background in IRGC and seeing his background in the security apparatus, also when it comes to establishing a sort of bridge between these two on the one hand and the political establishment, he is also a critically important figure. And of course, now we don't have any confirmation. Still, we have some unconfirmed, unofficial sources talking about the killing of Ali Larijani, the Supreme National Security Council's secretary, while in the meantime we know that the exchange of fire between Israel and Iran still goes on for the past few hours. We were able to hear the sounds of massive explosion across the Iranian capital Tehran and in other cities, and Iran a few minutes ago announced the initiation of another round of missiles targeting the Israeli territories. At this escalated situation, this is important it is worth pointing out that the presence of Ali Larijani as a balancing character was of a great significance, seeing the role that he could have played in terms of mediation, in terms of settling down the issue, in terms of any potential de-escalation. But we have to also keep in mind that in case these reports come true, we are not dealing with one figure. We are dealing with a very complicated dynamism when it comes to Iran's political and military establishments. We know that Iran has already experienced major blows starting from day one of these recent campaign of strikes, in which the supreme leader of the country was killed, later on replaced by his son, and then many other military top commanders, including the Chief of Staff for Armed Forces, including the Commander-in-Chief of IRGC, including the Secretary of Defense Council, and many others lost their lives, were assassinated in these strikes, very soon replaced by others. But it goes again without saying that Ali Larijani's profile is really high, not comparable to any of those. Since his very active role in political establishment, he was the Speaker of the Parliament, he was the head of State TV, he was the Supreme National Security Council secretary, in many other positions, including even Ministry of Culture. He has a record of profile there. So that's going to be a big loss if that reports come true. But still, we have to rest assured that we are dealing with a very escalated situation. And I can say that the killing, assassination, of this particular figure may not put any impact on the retaliatory strikes by the Iranian side.
Right. Thanks, Asadi, there in Tehran. Now,